Hi, and congratulations on the purchase of your brand new Breadcrumb Bluetooth trackable Nock. I want to go over a few things with you that are really important. Probably the most important thing would be the actual setup. Installing the battery, if yours does not already have the battery installed, some of our pre-orders did. But we're going to go over all of that. And the most important thing, I think, is clearly connecting it to your smartphone, downloading the app, all of that fun stuff. We're going to show you how to do that right now. The number one step that you're going to have to do now that you have your Breadcrumb trackable Nock in your hand is download the app, connect it to your smartphone, and we'll run through a few things to show you how to function. But right now, this is about connectivity. Let's say that I've already downloaded the Breadcrumb app. I can pull it up really quick like I'm doing right now. I've turned the Nock on. I press the button one time, and it's ready to connect. So as I've opened the device here, as you can see, I've got a handful of devices, some of my location markers and stuff, but they're all named. In the one, when I open the device and I click ready to pair, it just says Nock. That's the default of what it says Nock. We're going to add it and then name it anything that we want to. So let's click add as I've done right here. Let's call this arrow number 1. And we have it saved in our phone. Device, it says device paired. It's ready to go. So arrow 1 now in range. I've connected it to my app, connected it to my smartphone. It's set and ready to go. It's ready to use. Really, really simple. And then on the app, it is showing me the location right now. Really, really cool device. You can also see the signal strength indicator right here, these 3 bars on the bottom, and showing how close it is. So it's connected. I'm going to press the light and sound button. It should beep 10 times. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 10 beeps, and then it'll begin to go into battery protection mode. The reason that it beeps 10 times is because it's a sound chip, and it's really the smallest available sound chip possible, but it's designed and built to be able to conserve battery. Now, let's say that you can see it's still flashing in my hand. Let's say that it's out there, it's in the grass, I've been able to locate it, and I want to turn it off. Super simple. Let's go back to the button on the side right here. We'll press it one time. And there you go. It is now reset and ready to go, ready to refire, in fact. But after 6 hours, you'll have to restart that process. You'll have to rearm it because of its battery management system built inside of the software. 6 hours is how long it's going to stay armed for you. If you want to reset it, you can just press the button one time. It resets, and bam, we're back in business for another 6 hours. One other thing that you want to know is how to turn it off when you're done practicing. Very simple process. We're going to take the button on the side again, hold it down for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, boom. And it's going to flash 3 times. That lets you know that the Nock is now disarmed. It's turned off. It is no longer using battery. So there you go. So a couple of added benefits to this Nock. Number one, it's simplicity of use, basically. The other is its battery management software that's built inside the Nock, which is really, really incredible. Once it's fired, it fires and operates just like a normal lighted Nock for the first 30 seconds. After that, the software takes over and begins to maximize battery life. So what happens is a couple of benefits for you, the consumer, is it begins to go into a flashing lighted Nock. It's easier for the human eye to pick up the flashing than it is even the constant light. Bluetooth signal inside of the Nock begins to emit at a very rapid, frequent pace. Over a significant amount of time, that starts to stage down a little bit. It goes in that battery management save mode, so it's still emitting a Bluetooth signal over a period of time. If it takes you multiple days to locate your arrow, battery life extended, really cool piece of technology. So the other thing that we wanted to give you from an added benefit standpoint is the ability to hear it if you're very, very close to it. I say that because I don't want to mislead you in the fact of thinking that you're 50 yards away, that you should be able to hear the beep. You should not. It's just not designed or even possible, quite frankly, to make it that loud. We want you to be able to find it with your proximity meter, know that you're very, very close, and then press the light and sound button. It'll flash, it'll beep, hopefully giving you the opportunity to see it or better hear it. So a couple things that I want to do right now and I want to show you is the fact of how to take the battery out, replace the battery. I've got another Breadcrumb battery kit here, complete with shrink wrap, ready to go. What I'm going to do, be really careful here, don't cut yourself, but I am going to cut this shrink wrap off just using a little razor blade, peel it off with my fingernails here. Now look, the batteries are in there. They're really, really secure. The shrink wrap even just kind of furthers that process. We're going to open up this new package here, complete with the new shrink wrap, and we're going to install this battery. So one of the things I like to do with the battery and the O-ring is, I like to, I'm going to just kind of moisten it a little bit, not much. I don't want to create a ton of moisture in there. I'm going to push it in and just far enough that it makes the connection and flashes one time. Once it flashes one time, that lets me know that it is connected, it is properly installed. If I push it in there too far, it could flash 3 or 4 times, and that would tell me that I've created a short in the battery and I need to back it out a little bit. Then we have our shrink wrap here. We're just going to set it over the edge, and all this is going to do is basically, we'll heat it up for you here in just a second, but it just sets over and gives you the opportunity to create a bond between that battery and the retainer clip, so it helps it not back out and helps it stay securely in place. My wife's hair dryer, because I'm pretty sure that everybody has a hair dryer at their disposal. I can tighten it up even more, but as you can see, it is on there. It's holding. You can do that really easy with a lot of different items. Just give it a little bit of heat. So one of the coolest functions, if not the absolute coolest function about the Breadcrumb Bluetooth trackable Nock, is the ability for you to share it with anyone that you want or that you choose, as long as they have the app downloaded on their smart device and they have an email address. Pretty much sums up everybody. Imagine this scenario. You've just shot buck of a lifetime. You have about this much of the arrow sticking out the last time that you see the buck, and he is fleeting off into the wilderness. The first piece of the puzzle is going to be finding that arrow. Probably not going to be stuck in the animal. This device was not built or designed to stay in the animal. It is designed to help you find your arrow, not necessarily the animal. You're going to have them download the app. You're going to go inside of your app. You're going to hit the share device function. And when you do that, you hit share device. You put in their email address. Share that device with everybody in camp. You've just shot the buck of a lifetime, and now you have the ability for not all your buddies not to just be blindly walking through the woods, but to really have an asset in their hand that can help you locate that arrow. That is a huge, huge advantage, something you've never been able to have before in the outdoors. As a bow hunter, this gives you the ability to do it. The share device function on your phone, you can share it with anyone you choose. All they have to do, download the app, have an email address, accept the email, and they now have control over this Nock and can find it the same way that you can. Imagine that for 1 second. So let's say about 50 yards is what you have, okay, in a circumference. You have about 50 yards to pick this up. Now let's put 10 people out there. Now you've got 500 yards of coverage, something you've never had before, to be able to help you find this Nock and hopefully help you find your animal or even your very expensive lost arrow at minimum. So once you're done with the device, it is very, very simple. All you have to do is click the unshare. It's right there. All you have to do is say unshare. It's going to ask you, are you sure? You're going to say yes. And now this Nock is back to being in your hands, in your control, and only yours.